Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you on Market Today. We meet you on Tuesday with a mild hope that today will be a quiet day with some introspection on the Nifty. The fact that the GIFT Nifty is pointing to a 145 point uptick on the Nifty might provide some relief to the market, which has been reeling with the successive sales over the last 7 trading sessions. You have the Nifty's chart right in front of you. Friday's high was 24,196. We are at the moment at 23,000 almost. This is the lowest that we've seen on the Nifty since 7th of June, and there are all chances that you just might test the low of June 4th, which was 21,250. When will that happen? Only time will tell. But the mood, the sentiment, the clarity on Dalal Street is that we are headed lower for a variety of reasons, some of our own making and some overseas. But for now, there are 2 or 3 positives. Let me just tell you about them. The fact that the GIFT Nifty is trying to give a bounce, at least intraday, is something to hope for, and possibly from those levels maybe some strong bout of short covering. Okay, the first positive, in fact the first 2 positives, are the fact that the US 10-year yield and crude oil futures are both quiet. Yes, they are up. Crude oil is up, highest since August 2024. US 10-year yield is the highest over the last but the fact is that today they are quiet, and that's a cause of joy. What also is positive, of course, the net institutional purchases done by mutual funds, retail mutual funds as of yesterday, the number is actually indeed heartening and is about 2x the net sales that FIs have done. So DII cash purchases are 8,066 crore rupees. FII cash sales on a net basis are 4,893 crore rupees. So an absorbing of good quality equity has happened by domestic mutual funds that have seen record inflows for the month of December. That's a positive. Yet the market has fallen. That's because ultra HNIs, that's because PMS, that's because of retailers, and more importantly, a lot of margin calls were triggered by the fall in equity prices. That has essentially led to a very sharp 1.5% cut on the Nifty alone, a sharp 2.5% cut on the NSE 500 yesterday, and of course between a 4 and 6% cut on many indices. So that's the background, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe a sharp bounce, maybe a round of short covering, and then sustained selling pressure. Let's take opinion from Mr. Gaurav Dua, Head of Capital Markets Strategy at Mirae Asset Sher Khan. Good morning to you, Gaurav ji, and a very warm welcome. Happy New Year. How do you see sentiment on Dalal Street? There seems to be some hope kindling, at least for Tuesday.
Very good morning to you, and very happy New Year. Yes, we have not had a very good start of the year. We have seen a lot of selling pressure lately from FIs, and the entire market structure across the world is a little bit damaged in the past few weeks. What has happened now because of the macroeconomic data, the interest rate cuts which were expected in US or in India have now gone out of the window. In fact, some of the sections of the market in US are actually talking about an interest rate hike, which is has changed the entire macroeconomic narrative for this in 2025, and that is what you see the reaction of it on the this dollar index, bond yields in US and India, and also on the equity markets.
Fair point. Gauravji, there is a section in the market which feels that a lot of this pain will continue till Jan 20th. Traders who have short positions have a valid reason that Mr. Trump will assume charge on 20th, and then probably you will see some abatement in the US 10-year yield. Probably the dollar index will quieten down, and maybe from then on the pre-budget rally will take root. Till that time, or maybe if you have a different time frame, where do you see the Nifty settling down? Is this pain likely to continue? Is this a falling knife?
So, it's very, very tough to take a call on the movement of the market weekly basis or very, very short term movements. But we believe that the bias is down. However, I would like to clarify that we believe that most of the pain, damage in terms of the large cap stock Nifty is already behind us. We might have 4 or 5% kind of risk from here. However, I believe that investors should still practice caution when it comes to the broader market, especially small cap stocks, micro cap stocks. And I've been in your show for past few months, and since October, I've been very, very clear that as an investor, you need to reduce your exposure to small cap, micro cap, increase exposure to large cap. On the other hand, you also need to reduce exposure to some of the momentum kind of spaces, sector stocks, and increase exposure to basically IT, pharma. And now recently we have also added this FMCG to the list.
GG. At this level of the market, Gaurav, where do you see strong value taking root in the sectors? What looks or catches your fancy at this point of time?
So, as I said, we are looking at some of the stocks which have been underperformers for past 1.5 year, 2 years, and who are likely to be the beneficiary of the depreciation of the rupee. Third, in some of the this in commodities, we have seen that prices have gone down, especially this in palm oil, etc., which is going to benefit the FMCG company. So, keeping that in mind, we have been talking about pharma, we've been talking about some of these select textile players, garment players, some of the ID services company, and lately, as I said, some of the FMCG companies, which would include Britannia, Godrej Consumers, and the likes.
Okay, that's good. Gaurav, what about Mirai Asset Sher Khan? What is the research team throwing up in terms of the EPS that Nifty can clock in for the third quarter? What are your estimates? And one sector, maybe one industry, where a lot of outperformance is expected by your research team?
So, we are looking at around 6 to 6.5% kind of growth in the profits of our 220 odd active listing coverage stocks, which is largely in line with the growth in Nifty. Now, the problem here is that even with this 6.5% growth, the consensus number for this year, financial year, still means that the implied growth for quarter four is likely to be in high teens, which I believe is not likely to be possible. That means you might have another round of earning estimate downgrade in India. And what we are seeing is lately, even in US, we have seen banking stocks and some of the other stocks where there has been a consensus earning downgrade of anywhere between 2 to 4%. So what we are looking at right now is that markets are cheap and you are seeing continuous earning downgrades not only in India but also some of the very, very large markets like US. Now, this does not sound very, very good for the equity markets. Added to this is the macro uncertainties. As you just said, Trump will take charge on January this in 20. That does not mean that in next couple of days you will know everything that he plans to do. Now there are a lot of contradictory statements also from his side. So I think markets will remain on the edge during the initial few months of the Trump this thing, presidency, and we've been telling our clients, don't be in a hurry. You will get very good opportunities to accumulate in the broader market in next few months. If you want to buy now, you should be focusing on majorly the large cap stocks.
Fair point. The other issue, Gaurav, that is facing Indian equity markets is this constant decline and depreciation of the rupee to record lows. Is there a level that Mirai said Sher Khan feels the rupee might stabilize at? And given this background, maybe a couple of stocks that you feel will provide quality relief to the market, those export oriented sectors which just might do good.
So, up till now, if you we came out with our 2025 strategy note about a month back, and we were absolutely clear that this is going to be one of the very, very tough years for rupee because dollar is going to strengthen, and this is what had happened in 2018 when Trump had come to power and he had started applying the tariffs on some of the large countries. So this is basically what is happening is the repeat of what we saw in 2018. Now, up till now, what we have seen that RBI has been trying to this thing support the rupee, but what happened over the weekend was that there was news that China will now stop buying their bonds. Now, this means that there will be added pressure on the yuan. In such a case, it is very, very difficult for RBI to support the rupee, and they'll have to let rupee slide down so that our exports remain competitive. That's the sharp reaction you saw on the INR to USD exchange rate on this thing Monday yesterday, where you had one of the sharpest falls in the rupee. So I don't think that the declining trend in the rupee is over, and we've been saying this for past almost this thing month plus that we will not be surprised if rupee goes down to around 90 against the dollar in 2025 itself. So given this background, that is why since past few months we have been trying to push export oriented kind of this companies, businesses, as I said, pharma, IT, and some of the textile and garment companies.
Right. I think 90 is something which is quite far off. And let's hope it happens in a gradual manner. In any case, over the last 25, 30 years, we've seen a secular 3 to 4% decline in the rupee each year versus the dollar. But these are, how should I say, times when things are a little more difficult. You have a US elect president assuming charge who wants to raise tariffs, and exporting countries to the US will do everything to negate that impact of the tariff. And one of the easiest things to do is to let their currencies depreciate. Rupee is not the only Asian currency that is in pain. There are every single emerging market currency over the last quarter has depreciated against the dollar. The dollar index is up 10% from a low of 100 to a high of about 110 in the last 3 months or so. Even the euro has depreciated versus the dollar. Let's go back to stock picking, Gaurav. Your expectations from the budget, if at all, and where do you see the PSU basket at this point of time? What is the top pick at Mirai Asset Sher Khan as far as the PSU sector is concerned?
So yes, in terms of the budget, we believe that this budget is likely to be more of this vision statement by Modi 3.0, and they are going to talk a lot. A lot of time will be spent on how they see the economy going over the next 4 years, 5 years, and of course to their target of 10 billion dollars. So it will be more of a this vision statement. And apart from that, I think there would be some focus on boosting the consumption. So there is obviously clear signs of slowdown in the economy. Consumption on the rural side has been weak for past few years. Urban side also there's like slowdown in the past 1 year or so. So I think this government will do two things: reiterate their commitment in terms of government spending on infrastructure. Secondly, there could be some measures announced which will give support to the basically consumer demand across the region or segments.
Fair point. 9 a.m. Uh, Gauravji, please allow me 2 or 3 minutes to mark the pre-open prices. No respite, ladies and gentlemen. The gift Nifty was pointing to a 140, 130 point uptick, but the market has negated it for the moment. You have a 117 point slide in the Nifty. Will this improve? Only time will tell. But let's look at the pain points. And first of all, it's HDFC Bank, 22 rupees lower, 1610. TCS, 28 rupees lower, 4271. Let's look at the other index heavyweights. Reliance. This is the main culprit. Yesterday's uptick is met with sustained selling pressure, 2.5% down, 1210. Infosys, 41 rupees lower, 1922. What's in the green? Hindustan Unilever, 32 rupees higher. SBI, marginally so, just 55 paise higher. Axis Bank, 4 rupees higher, 1049.3. Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv in the green. It's not looking good, ladies and gentlemen, when you have HDFC Bank, Reliance and Infosys. How about ICICI Bank? Flat. These are the top 4 super index heavyweights on the Nifty. If they are red or flat, it essentially means it's going to be another painful day. We are getting ready for the 8th successive day of selling on Dalal Street. A quick look at what else is happening in the market. NSE 500, any gainers that I see? Yes. GIC Ray, 5.2% higher. Sun Pharmaceuticals Advanced Research, called Spark, 4.9% higher. Indian Bank, 4.4% higher. These are the ones that I'd like to mark. Zomato, 2% higher after sustained sell-off. Garden Reach Shipbuilders, 2.3% higher. Anything else? Okay. Maybe Geofin, 0.1% higher to 66. Hindustan Unilever, Suzlon in the green. BSC in the green. I want to see what Anand Rathi is doing. They announced a 1:1 bonus despite a terrible set of earnings. Anand Rathi, yes, 0.3% higher, 4049. How about Angel One? 1% lower, 2444. The earnings were bad because of restrictions imposed by SEBI on FNO trading, which was the main source of revenue for many brokers, including Angel. The Nifty now improving, just 40 points lower at 23,046. Let's get Gaurav into the conversation back again. Gaurav, your view on private banks, in particular Axis, in particular HDFC Bank, both of them coming under sustained selling pressure.
So, when you have this rigorous everyday selling by FIIs, it will normally happen in stocks where they have extremely high exposure. HDFC Bank, Axis Bank are some of those stocks. And obviously, there have been a little bit of an issue in these stocks in terms of the performance. So, what you see is that ICICI has been an outperformer on the way up. It is also outperformer in these kind of volatile markets. So that will remain our topic here. Yeah, but yes, some of these other private sector banks have started to look attractive to us now.
Fair point. 904. Still some hope rekindling. Nifty is just 16 points below the green mark. Let's look at where the most improvement is. HDFC Bank is now in the green, okay, 3 rupees higher, maybe enthused by Gaurav's comment on them, 1635 for you. Improvement in Axis Bank, 4 rupees 30 higher, 1050 almost. Let's look at some big gainers on the Nifty in terms of actual rise. Okay, BEL 1.5% higher, Shriram Finance 1.4% higher. There is Bharti Airtel, Britannia that are amongst the top gainers. A quick look into FNO and then we'll get back to Gaurav. Let's see how it's shaping up. The Nifty is in a green, just as what the Bank Nifty, just as what the GIF Nifty was saying. Okay, Indian Bank 2.3% higher in the FNO. Kalyan Jewellers 3% higher, 590. BSE 2% higher, 52.55. IEX, Manappuram, M&M are also in the green. So let's hope that this selling pressure abates for the first 1 hour or so, and maybe you see a bout of short covering after 7 successive selling days. This is the best we can hope for, given the circumstances that are there in global equity markets. Let's get Gaurav back into the conversation and talk about crude oil prices. I'll request the PCR to fire a long-term chart of crude oil futures. This is another pain point that is afflicting Indian equities, Gaurav. Your view on ONGC, deep value, and the counter near 200-day moving average. What do you make of ONGC?
So yes, oil is an issue for Indian market, especially with this depreciation of the rupee. It's a double impact on the on Indian economy. Especially, it will give rise to the inflationary fears in the economy. Now talking about these stocks, ONGC, yes, ONGC is a value buy at this price. It gives you a very good kind of this dividend yield, and some of these high dividend yield, high cash flow count kind of stocks tend to outperform in a market like this. However, given what is happening globally across the world, I think the commodity prices are likely to be very volatile, and this would also make these stocks little bit of volatile. So that's why we have not gone ahead and preferred to buy ONGC kind of stocks at this point of time, rather than, as I said, we are focusing on the export-oriented companies.
Fair point. We are also joined by Mr. Kunal V. Parar, Vice President for Technical Research at Choice Equity Broking. नमस्ते कुणाल जी, स्वागत आपका, नववर्ष की शुभकामनाएं। और मंगलवार के दिन शायद बाजार ने थोड़ी इज्जत रखी है कि हरा निशान दिखाया जाए। निफ्टी 80 अंक ऊपर सेटल हुआ है प्री ओपन में, बैंक निफ्टी 225 अंक ऊपर और NSE 500 में शायद 85 अंक का इजाफा। बताइए आपके हिसाब से चॉइस इक्विटी में कौन से एक दो स्टॉक्स जो आपको टेक्निकल चार्ट्स पर ठीक ठाक लगते हों, या बिकवाली का दौर जारी रहेगा?
वेल सेल जी, गुड मॉर्निंग एंड आप सबको मकर संक्रांति की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। आज मकर संक्रांति, उत्तरायण, पतंग चगाने का दिन है, तो हमारा एक्सपेक्टेशन, हमारी आशा है कि आने वाले दिनों में हमारे जितने भी व्यूअर्स हैं उन सबका पोर्टफोलियो पतंग की तरह ही आसमान में रहे। नाउ जहाँ तक निफ्टी की बात रही, नो डाउट निफ्टी में आज प्री ओपनिंग में अच्छी खासी मोमेंटम देखने को मिल रही है, लेकिन सबसे बड़ा कंसर्न यही है कि जो रिसेंट का जो बॉटम था, वो बॉटम निफ्टी ने ब्रेक किया हुआ है, उसके नीचे ट्रेडिंग फिलहाल स्टार्ट है। तो कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा है कि यहाँ से और भी गिरावट हमें देखने को मिल सकती है, और एक गिरावट में पॉसिबिलिटीज है कि आपको 22,000 से लेकर 21,800 तक के लेवल देखने को मिल सकते हैं। सो ओवरऑल जो मोमेंटम है फिलहाल वो कंसर्न वाला ही है। 200 DMA के नीचे वापस निफ्टी आ चुकी है, तो कहीं ना कहीं डाउनसाइड की मोमेंटम फर्दर देखने को मिल सकते हैं। नाउ यहाँ पे एक बात यह है सेल जी, टू फोकस ऑन द ट्रेडिंग कॉल, बिकॉज यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है कि वॉलेटिलिटी इज टू हाई फॉर सेटिंग अप द प्रॉपर रिस्क रिवॉर्ड फॉर एनी लॉन्ग और शॉर्ट पोजीशन। सो हम फिलहाल जो सजेस्ट कर रहे हैं टू गो फॉर द मीडियम टर्म लॉन्ग टर्म पर्पजेस ओनली। इसके लिए सबसे बेहतर जरिया जिसको हम बोलेंगे वो है निफ्टी 20 एंड बैंक निफ्टी 20। बहुत ही बढ़िया लेवल पे है, यहाँ पे ग्रेजुअली इसको एक्यूमुलेट करना चाहिए। क्योंकि ऑन एन एवरेज 12 से 13% का कैगर आपको निफ्टी में देखने को मिलता है। तो अगर यहाँ से कोई भी व्यूअर्स अगर अच्छा खासा पोर्टफोलियो बनाना चाहता है तो फर्स्ट ऑफ जो ऐड करना चाहिए वो निफ्टी 20 बैंक निफ्टी 20 ही है। एंड टाइमिंग हम भी हमारे क्लाइंट को फिलहाल ये सजेस्ट कर रहे हैं।
जी, चलिए, ये बात भी बिल्कुल सही है। ज़रा और बाज़ार पर नज़र डालते हैं, मेरे को सिर्फ 1 मिनट दीजिए। देखते हैं कहाँ कहाँ ठीक ठाक मोमेंटम बनता हुआ दिख रहा है। प्री ओपन में पीएसयूज़ पर नज़र डालते हैं, बजट का इंतज़ार। हटको इरेडा, ये दोनों में 2-2% के आपको इजाफा आता हुआ दिखा। गौरव जी, डिड यू लुक एट द अर्निंग्स ग्रोथ एट इरेडा, the top line as well as bottom line? A strong show. What is the house view of IREDA at the moment?
So yeah, we had a look at it. IREDA is not under our coverage, but we do cover say PFC and say REC, which are in the same space. We believe they are more attractively priced as compared to IREDA, and even there we see the near term growth in terms of earning will remain strong. Provisions have been done. They are now looking at some of the right backs. There is also growth in the core economy. So core, core district business. So we don't see any issue in these stocks. But yes, after such a big kind of a rally, you can always see some kind of profit booking here. And but these profit bookings would be an opportunity to buy in these stocks.
Yeah. Kunal ji, what would be your favorite stock on the long side in the PSU basket? We've seen many price corrections now over the last 6 to 7 months. Are there any weekly or monthly charts in the PSU basket which now show sign of maybe base building or maybe an uptick?
Well, 1 to 2 stocks are there where I am seeing a good upside momentum, particularly in PSU counters, and one is ONGC. Right now, it is trading at 257 level, 257 above its 20 days moving average. Not only this, if you look at the weekly chart, monthly chart, stock has strong support of its recent bottom, which it formed on a weekly chart. So further upside momentum would be there in this counter, and even we have found good volume activity as well on the bottom sides. So overall indication that I am getting is on the bullish side only. Right now stock is trading at 257. One can get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss somewhere around 245. And if you talk about the upper side target, and first target comes at 281, and if stock breaks this 281, then 302 would be there. Now this is for short term perspective. I am not talking about the trading part. Now if anybody want to go for medium term to long term now, then this is the perfect level. This is the perfect time where one can go for fresh buy. One can go for even for averaging as well. Upper side we can see at 340, 350 in upcoming trading session.
Fair point. ONGC is directly linked to strong crude oil prices, and they've shot up above their 200-day DMA over the last 2 or 3 trading sessions. And ONGC as well, from a low of about 232, we've seen an uptick coming all the way up to 260, 262. So please keep an eye out ONGC as well. Gaurav ji, any view on HCL Technologies after its fantastic set of earnings? This is one stock in the Nifty which has remained at record high levels. How would you analyze HCL Tech earnings?
So yes, HCL Tech was largely in line with our estimates. Though we could have expected a better this margins from them. They have also increased the lower end of the guidance, and I think the numbers were more or less in line with our expectation. And any fall in the stock, I think, will be an opportunity to buy. It is one of the very fairly valued large cap stock in the IT space. The only distinct chink what we saw in this quarter's number was that their new order wins have been slower than expected. Otherwise, I think the performance has been largely in line.
Right. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, HCL Technologies announced a 5% year-on-year increase in sales for the quarter gone by to 29,890 crores. Net profit surged 6% to 4,594. There was an improvement in EBIT and of course an improvement in EBS as well. Let's wait for the markets to open. We are at 9:15 and the first ticks are upon us. There is almost a 108 point uptick on the Nifty. This is good. 300 point uptick on Nifty Bank. 135 point uptick on the NSE 500. In the red is the Nifty IT index, 200 points lower. Let's dip into what the market is trying to tell us. It is HDFC Bank, 7 rupees higher, 1640. Let's look at Reliance, 9 rupees higher, 1250. Let's look at ICICI Bank, 2 rupees higher, 1233, and Infosys down about 3 rupees flat, 1960. These are the top 4 index heavyweights, out of which 3 are in the green, and therefore for the moment at least there is a century on the Nifty on the green side. SBI has opened 1.9% higher. Tata Motors is up 1.1%. What's on the back foot, and that's marginally, that's TCS and Hindustan Unilever. Very quickly we'll look at top traded counters. For the moment there is a bit of a pain and profit booking in HCL Technologies, nothing to be worried about, but 6% lower. 1882. Zomato, a lot of relief coming in. The counter has been in a profit booking spree from about 295 rupee levels all the way down to 225, 226. Now some relief stepping in. BSE 3.4% higher. MobiKwik 2.7% higher. I want to see what Angel One is doing and what is the prognosis on Anand Rathi. Both reported earnings. Angel One 6.5% lower, 23.17. How about a move that is coming in on Anand Rathi? 2.5% lower, 3933. Okay, so these are the earnings boys that we are talking about, Anand Rathi and Angel One. What else is on the move in the PSU basket? It's ITDC 2% higher, 607. Garden Reach 2.8% higher. Steel stocks, SAIL and MSTC and Hind Copper are in the green as well. A quick look at advanced decline and then we'll go to Kunal. Okay, in the first 2 or 3 minutes of trade, 1,645 shares in the green, 442 in the red. For the moment, it seems that there is some respite in the markets. Business Today tracks 19 indices for you. 18 are in the green, led by the Nifty PSU banking basket. Coming to you, Kunal. What are the charts telling you in the first 2 or 3 minutes of trade? Anything that you'd like to do?
Well, Selji, frankly saying, no, this is the fancy of this market. Now it has become, it has been a recent days, because in first 5 minutes, market shows some kind of upward momentum and it gives some kind of confidence. But afterwards, we usually see a downside momentum as well. So from my side, it's like better to wait and watch until it gets settled down. And the perfect time to get into the for long or short side, it's after 10, because till the time volatility will be settled down and we will get a clear picture that how in which direction market will be headed. So for time being, I think one should wait for to get this volatility settled down.
Okay, fair point. This is something which is for the moment looking good. Now 120 points higher on the Nifty, 440 points higher on the Nifty IT index. HDFC Bank is contributing 22 points to Nifty's uptick. Reliance is contributing 19. SBI 13 points. NTPC, Bharti Airtel 7 and 6 points respectively. The advanced decline within the Nifty, which comprises of 50 shares, is very strong. 43:7. Let's see for how long it lasts. A quick look at volume buzzers and then we'll get to Gaurav. Okay, volume buzzers on the NSE 500, HCL Tech, that's under profit booking, Angel Rathi, and these are the ones that are doing pretty well. Let's look at the chart of Zomato. Uh, Coming to you, Kunal, 233, and this is after 7-8 days of successive falls. Any view that you would want to offer on an intraday basis for Zomato?
Well, Selji, right now stock is trading at 233 level, and it is trading above its 200 days moving average. I think we may see some kind of bounce back in the counter. One can get into the stock at present level. Counter is trading at 233
Hmm.
level. Downside strong support comes at 227, 226, which yesterday's low. And upper side first target we can see the 238, and the stock breaks this 238, and further upside would be there up to the level of 246. Now this is purely for intraday purpose only, not for short term to medium term.
Hmm. Gauravji, coming to you, what is the house view on Zomato? Is there a price target? Is there a zone where you would set a buy on Zomato?
So to clarify, we are holding the stock in our fund, this PMS. So yeah, we like the stock because of the various things. They have done pretty well in food delivery. Blinkit is doing well. It's turned profitable. But yes, after such a strong rally that we have seen, it is not surprising that stock will pull back a bit. 220 to 30 is the range where we are just adding the stock more from here. And I think this is a stock which you can hold on. But yes, given the fact that it is a new age stock with a lot of interest from HNI retail, the stock will be just volatile in the short term.
Okay, fair point. Now gains are accelerating on the Nifty, 135 points higher, 23,222 is where the index is. And let's look at some of the best performers. Okay, Adani Power is 6.5% higher. Indian Bank is 5.7% higher. Adani Green 5.2% higher. Motilal Oswal Financial Services 5.5% higher. These are the counters that are doing well. JSW Energy in the green, RVNL in the green, 4.5% higher. Nureka 5.4% higher, 349. These are some of the bright spots that you have on this Tuesday morning. In the first 5-7 minutes of trade, there is a lot to feel good about. Bajaj Finance. Let's get Kunal's view in on Bajaj Finance. At the moment, you see the counter ticking away merrily. Let's get the chart in front of you. Kunal, what is Bajaj Finance telling you at this point of time? We have 6 days of decline and maybe 70 to 86. Is it a little too early?
Well, Sergi, I think one should get into the stock at present level, because stock has been trading above its 200 days moving average. And if you talk about volume-wise activity, then near to bottom, I think volume has spiked. So it is clearly showing some bull power momentum that we are seeing, particularly in this counter. And stock is outperforming the index. Okay, so we may see a further upside momentum in the counter from the present level. So all the equation goes for creating long position only in the counter. One can get into the stock at present level. Right now, stock is trading at 7,285, and the downside support comes at 7,130. First target we can see is somewhere around 7,450, and if stock breaks this 7,450, then further upside would be there up to the level of 7,600. So in this counter, I think risk reward is in favor for creating a long position. So one should get into the stock.
Okay, fair point. Let's look at new highs in the market, if at all. Yes, and none of the names look familiar to me, so I will stay away from them. Any stocks that are in pain, okay. The pain accelerates on HCL Technologies. Okay, now 7 point, almost 8% lower at 1831. This is results led. so we won't sort of feel bad about it. Anand Rathi 5.5% lower, 1 is to 1 bonus announced. There is profit booking in KPI Green and EPAC. Shakti Pumps is down 3.8%. Angel One continues to be in pain. Delta Corp, another set of dismal earnings being thrashed by the market, 3.4% lower, 106.60. Okay, these are the ones that I'd like to mark on air. Let's get back to top traded. It's again earnings led. There is HCL Tech, there is Angel One, Zomato showing signs of activity. Let's get Gaurav into the conversation. Gaurav, a view on your own community in the broking space hit very, very aggressively and badly by this norm, changing trading norms by the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Any top pick in the broking space that you have which might provide juice at current levels?
So yes, the changes that have been made has impacted the volumes in the FNO across the market segment, and that is having an impact on the brokers. So broking is a very cyclical kind of a business. That's why when we look at for a stock for investment in this space, we would rather stick to the wealth management companies. So what we have been exploring is stocks like Anand Rathi Wealth, Nuvama Wealth, 361, where they have seen a substantial doubling or more of their basically asset base or asset under management in the last 18 months, and this provides a very healthy kind of a revenue growth this visibility there. And anyway, wealth I think is a structural story in India with the rising incomes and the growing need for the professionally managed services. I think wealth will be a steady growing kind of a business in India, and that's where I think basically investors should look at.
Okay, 927, and now Bajaj Finance is ticking away higher still. It's breached 7300, so for the moment it's looking good. A 3.5% uptick on Indus Bank also, 974. Aurobindo Pharma is doing pretty well. Let's just take a view on the broader markets as of now. Let us see what the NSE 500 is doing. Remember, it was beaten black and blue yesterday. NSE 500 is our broadest index representative of the broader market, 0.8% higher. Advanced decline is 357 versus 141. Let's look at the outperformers within the market map for NSE 500, which is one share which is above 5%, Adani Power, 5.8% higher. There are 24 shares in NSE 500 that are up between 3 and 5%. It's the Adani group which is doing pretty well. Adani Energy Solutions 4% higher, Adani Green 4.6% higher, Inox Wind, Biocon also in the green. The energy space is buzzing. JSW Energy is in the green, Suzlon is in the green, NTPC is in the green. That's good. Coming to you, Kunal, your favorite within the Adani group on the long side today, 9 out of 10 Adani stocks are in the green, led by Adani Power.
Well, if you talk about overall, Adani Pack, then right now my eye is on particularly Adani Port, because Adani Port looks very attractive amongst other Adani counters. Stock has already taken the support on a weekly chart, and it has taken the support of its recent bottom as well, which is made on 21st November at 995. Right now, stock is trading at 1098, and amongst the other Adani counters, I think Adani Port has some good fundamentals. So it gives some kind of edge, particularly to get into the stock at present level. We will keep SL at one. We will keep SL at 9,995. And if we talk about upper side target, and first target comes at 1160, and if stock breaks this 1160, the further upside would be there up to the level of 1270. So amongst the other Adani counters, I think Adani Ports looks very attractive in terms of technical wise and in terms of fundamental wise.
Okay, that's what it is. Uh, Before we let you go, Gaurav, one final view on what you think would be one or two budget proposals that retail investors can look forward to.
I think there could be some tinkering with the income tax slabs. So, as I said, the two things that should be on the mind right now is the increasing allocation to the government spending on infrastructure. Second is some kind of measures that need to be taken to support the consumption demand, which has been slowing down both in the rural and as well as the urban regions. And I think that's where you will see some kind of move where there could be some kind of tinkering with the income tax rate slabs. However, I do not expect any changes in the taxation related to the equity markets, capital markets, because they just basically aligned all the rates in the last budget, and I don't think they will want to keep changing those rates on a very frequent basis.
Okay. With that, Gaurav, thank you so much for your time. And again, here's wishing you all the best for 2025 ahead. A strong move coming in the power space, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just dip into the BSC Power Index. This is something which comprises both of power producers as well as ancillary power makers. So Tata Power 2.8% higher, NHPC 1.8% higher, Power Grid 1.4% higher. Okay. Apart from that, let's look at JSW Energy up 4.3%, Torrent Power up 3.5%, Suzlon up 2.9%, Adani Power and Adani Green in top form, 7 and 5% respectively. Is there something that we can look at in terms of sectoral change? Just allow me a moment. I'll present some good data for you. Okay. What is the BSC Power Index doing? Yes, this is the top performing index, 2.7% higher, 6,312. All 13 shares are in the green. The Nifty now about facing resistance at 23,200, but it's looking good in terms of at least HDFC Bank now 1646. It's crossed yesterday's high. That is critical, and this is after 6 plus 1, 7 days of sustained selling. That's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. For the moment, at least in the first 15-20 minutes of trade, you have a green tick, and it's the banks that are leading the fight. 557 points higher on the Nifty Bank, 48,600, and that is how it is for the index that we have in front of us. Anything I'd like to mark? Yes, it's M&M. This is a stock worth noting after their fabulously successful launch of 2 electric vehicles in the sedan space. Kunal, what are the long-term charts of M&M telling you?
Well, Sanjay, if we talk about M&M looks very attractive, particularly on a daily chart. It has been trading with its upper rising trend line, and it is trading near to its uncharted territory, all-time high level. And recently launched its two electric born electric cars. I think it may catch some more eyes. So based on this part, I think we may see a good upside momentum in the counter. Right now counter is showing 3058 level. One can get into the stock at present level. Downside strong support comes at 2960. And if you talk about upper side target, then first target comes at 3140, and if stock breaks this 3440, then further upside would be there up to the level of 3260. Now this is for trading to position perspective only, but if anybody want to go for medium to long term, then we can see very good upside momentum up to the level of 4,000 to 4,200.
Okay, fair point. That is the view that you have on the stock in front of you. But as I have said right there in the morning, it's power and power all the way. Look at Adani Power. The stock has completely lost its mojo, but now showing signs of some uptick. What we are looking at is actually the lowest since 28th of November 2023, but a bounce coming in. Whether that will last, only time will tell, but for the moment it's up 7.2%, and it's not the only stock that in the power space is sticking in the green. Strong strength now coming into many counters. What else would I like to mark? Let's just shift focus into some charts that are doing pretty well. Bharti Airtel 1623. Okay, it's flattening out, and after maybe a month or so showing signs of revival, and it's now 51% subsidiary. Indus Tower 3.2% higher at 331. Petronet LNG showing signs of activity, but slowly and surely the Nifty is under selling pressure. 23,176. Let me mark the intraday high for the index, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is 23,226. The pivot for the Nifty is at 23,158. For the moment, that seems to be getting tested, but a very difficult day. Maruti up 1.9% at 1172, in sync with what M&M is doing as well. Kunal, anything that you are watching in the markets?
Well, there is one to two stocks are there which looks very attractive, particularly amongst the auto counters. Tata Motors is trading at 11,725. Tata Motors is trading at 778. So definitely, as we already talk about the M&M, but let's talk particularly on the Tata Motors, because we are seeing some, we are seeing some kind of bullish momentum in the counter, and bullish reversal formation that stock has shown during the last week. So based on which we can expect some more upside momentum in the counter from the recent level. Right now counter is trading at 776 level. Downside support comes at 748. So what can keep SL at 745? First target that we can see, it's 810. In stock breaks this 810, then further upside would be there up to the level of 860. So I think auto counters do some better, and this this negative sentiment.
Okay, fair point. Can't take my eyes off Adani Power. What you see is the entire Adani group ablaze with earnings, and all 10 stocks are in the green, but Adani Power in top form. Already 44 lakh shares have been traded. Let me just find out what is the 5-day average on Adani Power, and that will be visible on, yes, okay. The 5-day average is 40 lakh shares. We've already seen 130% of 5-day average traded, and the stock is in top form. 7.5% higher, 486. Is this value buying? Only time will tell. But Adani stocks in themselves are extremely volatile, so please be careful. But it does offer some hope for those who fish at the bottom of stock prices. Let me just give you an idea. What was the all-time high of Adani Power? Well, it was 901 rupees, and at this level the correction on the stock price, ladies and gentlemen, has been at about 50 to 51%. So it's halved over the span of last 6.5 months, and that's the reason probably you see this bounce. Will that be a dead cat bounce? Only time will tell. But So far, you see fairly hectic activity coming into Adani Power. Please also keep Bajaj Finance in mind. We had picked this up at 72.60. So far, you have a price of 73.29. Slippages continue on the Nifty. Now just 90 points higher at 23,173. But activity on the long side in Axis Bank, 1% higher, 1,058. And coming back into action is Policy Bazaar. Kunalji, your view on Policy Bazaar? Sustained selling for the last 6 days, higher than average delivery over the last 6 days, but maybe some hope starting on Policy Bazaar. Your view, sir?
Well, Sanjay, during the last trading session, stock gave some kept down momentum, and we also witnessed, unusual volume activity as well with the downside momentum. Now, no doubt today's counter is trading at the 1710 level, but I think one should wait for the counter to get into the stock, because I'm seeing further downside momentum in the counter up to the level of 1620 to 1600 now. At 1600 level, stock has multiple support. First support comes from its 200 days moving average. Not only this, stock form its bottom somewhere around 1600 level during October 2024. So if it falls up to the level of 1620 to 1600 level, then one should get into stock, because by the time one will get a favorable risk reward ratio particular for the counter. So as of now, one should avoid for getting into the stock.
Okay. Uh, that's a fair point. No stopping Bajaj Finance. Even Tata Motors is showing signs of activity at about 780 levels. Let's see if some more stocks have come into the list of outperformers. It's just Adani shares. They're very volatile. We've already marked them. There is Borosil Renewables, 5% higher, 582. Very strong volumes, 10.24 crore shares. That's how it is. Heidelberg Cement, 4% higher, 213. Credit Access Grameen, 4% higher, strong volumes, 35 crores traded. JSW Energy, 5% higher, 541. A view on JSW Energy. This was a very high beta counter at one point of time, Kunal. It's corrected from 750 all the way down to 541, and now a bounce around 200-day DMA. What are the charts telling you?
Well, Sanjeev, if we talk about this stock, I think this stock looks very attractive, particularly on a daily chart. The stock has just come out of its oversold zone. Not only this, stock has also taken the support of its previous resistance, which has now become a good support for the counter. So, in terms of risk reward, particularly in terms of technical structure, it looks very attractive to get into the stock. Right now, stock is trading at 541 level. One should get into the stock at present level. We will keep SL at 510 now. SL will be at a little bit lower level based on the volatility. We will keep SL at 510 level. First target we can see somewhere around 575, and if stock breaks this 575, then one way upside momentum would be there up to the level of 640. So yes, this stock looks very attractive, and it gives some kind of confidence based on the technical setup.
Okay, the Nifty facing selling pressure, ladies and gentlemen. While lots of stocks are showing signs of activity, but 23, 160, 150 right there in front of you. Banks are strong. Let's see what's pulling down the Nifty. That'll take me a while. HCL Tech, 44 points contributing towards the negativity. Infosys, 23 points. TCS, 8 points. Tech Mahindra. Entire IT space is pulling down the index. The IT index is itself down 1,000 points. So that's the reason that you have in front of you. What else is moving? Sundaram Fasteners. We generally don't look at this stock, but you can look at it at 1,055. It's the Adani Group in terms of both volume. Adani Green now 951. 4.7% higher. That is what is happening as far as prices are concerned. Let me again mark it. Adani Green 6.3% higher, 952. Adani Energy Solutions 6% higher, 735. Adani Enterprises 3.4% higher, 2315. Total Gas, Adani Ports, Ambuja Cement, ACC all up between 2.5, 3%. Where do we see outperformance in the PSU basket? Okay, that's very interesting. We track 88 stocks for you in the PSU basket, ladies and gentlemen. About 80 of them are in the green today. So that's a big relief. Maharashtra Bank, 3.7% higher. Power Finance Corporation, 3.8% higher, 403. Railways doing pretty well. IRFC 3% higher. RVNL 3.2% higher. NBCC 3% higher. In action, PTM. Kunalji, this is a high beta stock, and this requires your attention. 5-7 days of consistent selling, and now you have a 2.4% uptick. Your view on PTM?
Well, Sanjay, now let's particularly talk on this counter for trading perspective only. Right now, stock is trading at 808 level, and it has just given a breakout of its ORB range. So, we may see a further upside momentum in the counter for the intraday itself. One should get into the stock at present level. We will keep SL at 792. If we talk about target size, then first target comes at 818, and if stock breaks this 818, then further upside would be there up to the level 833. So these levels are purely for intraday perspective only.
Okay, 9:46. We are now into the first half hour of trade, and what I'd like to mark is the Nifty. You have 0.5% uptick on the Nifty, and the daily pivot has been tested, and it's so far held. So that's good news. The test was at 23,158. Let's see how it goes from then on. You have the first resistance at 23,268. It's too far off, but it's looking well. Okay, IRFC 3.7% higher. Let's look at what the chart structure is on IRFC. Your view on IRFC, Kunalji?
Well, since if we talk about IRFC right now, stock is trading at 133 level, and it is showing some kind of strength, particularly for intraday. But risk reward is not that much of favorable for intraday. But yes, if stock gives a close at present level, then we will see a bullish ceramic candlestick formation, and based on which some upside momentum would be there. I think one should wait for closing basis, and one should go for long only after this stock gets the bullish confirmation from the candlesticks formation.
Okay, fair point. Froth, let's just say some kind of strength coming back into the markets. IRFC is not the only stock that is showing signs of activity in the rail segment. You have a strong rally on RVNL. I don't know whether I can call it a rally or not, but definitely a bounce, 4% higher. Railtel 3% higher. Ircon 2.9% higher. Jupiter Wagon 2.3% higher. Concor and BEL doing well. That's how it is. What else is moving that I'd like to mark? NIACL from the insurance pack, 178.25, 2.4% higher. I'm purposely marking all high beta stocks that used to move. Shipping Corporation, 193, 2% higher. Paytm moving up. Zomato moving up. Concord Bio, this is something I'm hoping that Kunalji will give a view on. This is a pharma stock that has been into good activity. Concord Bio for you, now crossing 2320. What is the view on this one? 2.35% higher.
Well, Sanjay, if we talk about this stock, right now stock is trading at 2318. Recently, stock has given a breakout of consolidation phase. Not only this, stock has been trading above all its long-term moving averages, so it gives some kind of confidence, particularly based on this technical setup. And even if you talk about volume activity, then in last 1 to 2 weeks, I think volume activity has also spiked with gaining momentum. So it shows clear bullish momentum, bullish power, particularly in this counter. So I think a further upside momentum would be there. So one should get into stock at present level 2310. We will keep SL at somewhere around 2180. And if you talk about target size, the first target comes at 2450. And if stock breaks this 2450, then one way upside momentum would be there up to the level of 2700. So yes, after, amongst other counters, I think Concord Bio looks very attractive and it gives some kind of confidence for creating a long position.
Okay, let's just dip into the broader markets. This rally, let's not call it a rally. Let's just say this intraday bounce seems to be now taking deeper roots. And why do I say this? That's primarily on account of the advanced decline ratio, 1700 shares in the green, 605 in the red. Okay. HDFC Bank is the top performer on the Nifty, now 1.9% higher. Let's look at HDFC Bank's contribution to the Nifty on the green side. It's a very strong 39 points. Bharti Airtel is contributing 14 points. SBI contributing 13. NTPC contributing 11. We haven't checked the charts of NTPC for a while. Oh wow, this is a good one. Down at its 200-day moving average, we have NTPC. Actually, it's well below 200-day moving average. Let's look at the weekly chart. Oh yes, this is good. Kunal, your view on NTPC? The price that we see now was last seen in December 2023. How do you see it? The stock was at 444 rupees in September and now 309.
Sergey, I think this is the perfect setup for creating a long position because during yesterday's trading session, stock formed inverted hammer candlesticks formation, which is a bullish reversal formation. Right now, stock is trading above its high of previous day's high, which was placed at 310 level, and even stock took the support of its bottom, which it formed during the December 2023. So it gives a perfect juncture for creating a long position in terms of technical setup. One can get into the stock at present level, which strict SL somewhere around 295. If you talk about target size, then first target comes at 316, and if stock breaks this 316, then further upside would be there up to the level of 345. So yes, definitely it gives some kind of confidence in terms of candlesticks formation, in terms of weekly chart. So one should particularly one should focus on this counter.
Okay, that's the view that Kunal offers on NTPC. What else is moving well? I used to highlight a share called Indigene. This is now coming back into action, 614. Remember, one of the owners had sold a minor stake at about 620, 630 rupees about 4 weeks back. Now this is 2 percentage points higher at 615. This is a quality pharma counter that people can look at 615. The most recent high was 720, but the counter is around 200-day moving average. And once again, please also get an independent view from a financial advisor on Indigene. But for the moment, if you look at the daily chart, this is stabilizing around 200-day moving average. The volume is also pretty good. Let's again get back to the top traded counters. HCL Tech, Zomato. HCL Tech is now 9% lower. That's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, you have a mild pain on the Nifty. Otherwise, you would have seen about let me just see how much HCL Tech is pulling the Nifty down by 42 points. So a 9 percentage point cut on the Nifty on HCL Tech is actually causing a 42 point loss on the Nifty. Okay, what can be done? This was a stock that was in top shape. Now Adani Power, something that we've discussed, is 9% higher. Let's look at what the circuit limit is these days on Adani Power. If I'm not wrong, it will be 20%. Just a moment. Upper circuit is 539. We are at 488. This is not to say that it's headed that way, but it's always good to check. That's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Kunal, anything that you are observing?
Well, Selji, we talk about counter-wise, no doubt Nifty is trading at 70 points up, and a few counters are there which looks very attractive, and one counter is there on which I have been like keeping an eye since last a few days, and the stock name is Divi's Lab. Right now, stock is trading at 5,800 level, up by 1%. And for the upside would be there, particular in the counter. One should get into the stock at present level with strict SL at somewhere around 5,650, because even stock took the support of the same, and afterwards it made high of 6,285 during December 2024. So we can expect the same replicate momentum in the counter at present level. And upside first target comes at 6,050, and if stock breaks this 6,050, then again we may see an upside movement up to the level of 6,280. So Divi's Lab looks very attractive on a daily chart.
Okay. Uh, 956. All the way it's Adani Power. Also coming back into focus is Motherson Sumi. This is something that we used to talk a lot about, somewhere in the 220, 230 zone. The stock has corrected sharply, 143, and now showing signs of bounce back, 2.6% higher. This is how the markets are at the moment as far as prices are concerned. And BSE is now also showing some activity. You have 1.2% higher, 52.21. That's how it is at the moment as far as prices are concerned. And what else I'd like to mark? Yes, Paytm. So high beta is back in action, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get Kunal's final view. Kunal, before we let you go, how do you see the market's action today? What are the highlights, and what do you think is going right and what can go wrong?
Well, frankly saying, at present level, trading with if you are thinking about the trading, then it may go wrong because volatility is too high, and your ISL might hit in a fraction of second or fraction of minute. So do not focus particularly on the trading perspective as of now. But yes, on other side, please particularly focus on the medium term to long term side, because Nifty has corrected more than 12 to 13% from its all-time high, and this is the perfect time where one should go for creating the healthy portfolio. So Nifty based bank Nifty based looks very attractive for CAGR of more than 12 to 13%. And in terms of stock specific, large cap stocks looks very attractive because all the stocks have been trading at a strong support or near to support. So we may see some kind of bounce back after this budget. So particularly please focus on the ETF where you will get the 360-degree diversification, and those stocks which looks very attractive, particularly in terms of fundamentals.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Kunalji, thank you so much for your time. And maybe it was your presence on Tuesday that saw the market reversing a 7-day decline. Let's see how it goes from now on. But thank you so much for the valuable inputs that you gave us. Let's start wrapping, ladies and gentlemen. So a quiet bounce on the Nifty after 7 successive days of selling pressure. Will this last? Only time will tell. so far the pivot for the day, which is 23,158, has been held by the bulls. Is this a dead cat bounce? Only time will tell. Is the worst behind us? We don't know. But for the moment, let's on Makar Sankranti enjoy a mild green tick on the Nifty. Many high ticket, high trader friendly stocks are back in action on the long side. Chiefly Zomato, chiefly Paytm, chiefly Policy Bazaar, Naukri. Front lines like HDFC Bank are back in action on the green turf. What is in pain are the earnings that came in from HCL Tech. Despite a strong quarter, the stock is showing signs of extreme profit booking from record high levels. Apart from that, Angel Broking and Adani Enterprises, my apologies, Anand Rathi Group is in pain. But what is back in action and back with the bank is the entire Adani Group, led by Adani Power, 9% higher. Extremely beaten down counters, which are now showing signs of revival intraday at least. Will that last? Only time will tell. Remain glued to Business Today television, ladies and gentlemen. There is a lot that's happening on the other side of the break. Thank you so much for watching.
कि मोदी जी ने इतने शानदार फ्लैट दिल्ली के झुग्गी के लोगों को बना के दिए हैं।
Voters from Delhi's most unprivileged areas, the slum dwellers, are the new flashpoint.